Remarkable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And Falco are champions! Good up, Pepe! Goal!
It doesn't get any better than that!
Hello everyone and welcome to Donovan Catholic High School in Toms River, New Jersey. I'm Sam Lopresti for Game and Frame. We've got NPSL action for you today in the Keystone East Conference. It'll be Jackson Lions facing off against WC Predators. Jackson coming in third in the Keystone East Conference with a game in hand on FC Motown. They are 4 points behind them, and another few points behind New Jersey United for the top spot. Predators in last, they're 3 points behind the Philadelphia Union Developmental Squad. They do have a game in hand there as well. These two teams did play each other early on in the season. It was match day 3, and it was the only game this year that the Predators have won. A 5-4 topsy-turvy contest that was decided with 11 minutes to go by Roan Harrington. We'll see him today. We'll see a lot of the players from that game on the field this evening here at Donovan Catholic. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. We hope you join us here on Game and Frame for all the action coming up in about 5 minutes.
The starting 11 for the Westchester Predators. Number 1, Sebastian Cutler. Number 19, Alex Frazier. Number 20, Alex Fader. Number 5, Brian McDade. Number 22, Liam Breslin. Number 28, Roan Harrington. Number 25, Funzia Donzo. Number 12, Adam Goma. Number 27, Daniel McGonigal. Number 14, Fode Bangora. Number 16, Kieran Kunihiro, and the rest of the Westchester Predators. And now, the starting 11 for your very own Jackson Lions! From Northwestern University, number 98, Rafael Ponce de Leon. From the University of Chicago, number 22, Stefan Kraus. From the College of Charleston, number 27, Ryan Watson. From Rutgers North, number 28, Jonah Diaz. From the New Jersey Institute of Technology, number 3, the genius, Jack Rondo. From San Diego State University, number 10, Jules Anderson. From George Mason University, number 6, Zach Golden. From St. John's University, number 11, Miguel Diaz. From Georgian Court University, number 25, Joel Quist. From Providence College, number 7, Ian Abbey. From Monmouth University, number 9, the captain, David Nigro, and the rest of your Jackson Lions, led by head coach Brad Fraley and assistant coaches Steve Moran, Pio Sciano, and Mike Durazzo. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I ask that we all now please rise and remove our caps in honor of our national anthem.
Today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to ensure odor-free car rides and houses. Salt has given the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount. So scan the QR code to save 10% and keep it fresh. Back here at Donovan Catholic High School in Toms River, about to get underway between Westchester Predators and Jackson Lions. Pre-game festivities at an end. This is a multi-use field, so just to so everyone knows ahead of time what to follow. You're looking at the yellow field markings for the boundaries in this game. Looks like Predators are going to start it off. Referees making their final checks. Jackson still with a mathematical shot to move up the table. First place would be somewhat difficult given that they have lost the head-to-head. Or sorry, they lost their first head-to-head with New Jersey United. They have a game against New Jersey United next week that they could equalize that with. That could make things very interesting at the top. And off we go. Predators starting it off. Jackson Lions in red and white. Predators in white and black. And an instant tackle from Ian Abbey to put the ball out for a throw. Sent upfield. Repelled though. Here's Jules Anderson. Anderson looking for space on the left side. Rides through the tackle, but now he's got to reset the attack. Jack Krongold, and he'll back it all the way up. Jonah Diaz. Krongold. Abbey. Diaz. Looking for something long, but that's going to go right into the hands of Sebastian Cutler. Starting lineups once again if you missed them. Well, we'll get that in a second here as Stefan Kraus chases that, keeps it in, and ends up fouling his man. For Jackson, Rafael Ponce de Leon in goal, Ryan Watson, Jack Krongold, Stefan Kraus, and Jonah Diaz. In the middle, Jules Anderson, Zach Golden, Miguel Diaz. In midfield, Joel Quist, Ian Abbey, David Nigro. Towards the top. That is mishandled there, but Nigro's got it. He's going to find Abbey. Abbey with Krongold behind him. He's going to go for the shot, and it was not far off. Ian Abbey, who has scored twice this season so far, looking for an early tally. It was early when the scoring started in the reverse fixture between these two. Westchester went ahead early on a third-minute goal by Liam Breslin. Predators responded to that within 7 minutes, but that was a game of lead changes. Jackson blew 2 leads, so did Predators. Before Predators settled everything 11 minutes from time. That was their only win this year. Only had 2 results. Flick header there. Goma up the field. Looking for Breslin, but defense coming to the rescue, as does Ponce de Leon, keeping that out from being a corner kick. We won't have quite the start that we did with these two teams in May. That one going long, but headed away by Harrington. Roan Harrington, who scored the decisive goal in that match. That's a good move here. And across the field, Miguel Diaz. Hard to tell if he was going for the cross or the shot there. Cutler. Here's Harrington now. Taken out by Kraus. He heads upfield. Kraus, room to cross. Looking for Abbey, and it just missed him. Twice in the first 5 minutes that Jackson have come a whisper from opening the scoring. Both times coming from Ian Abbey. Excellent run by Zephan Kraus. Going long here for Liam Breslin, and Ponce de Leon had to punch that. He thought he had more time. Here's Diaz. Looking for Joel Quist. It's a little too much. Kieran Kunihiro intercepting that. Breslin. No targets. Easily intercepted by Ryan Watson. Here's Nigro. Jonah Diaz. Watson. And there's a mistake by Zach Golden. Defense again rallying. It'll be a throw though. Predators might be knocking on the door a bit. Kunihiro into the middle. Was looking for Funcia Donzo. Long diagonal ball by Nigro, but a little bit too flat for Diaz in the end. Harrington again intercepting that, but the Lions regaining again. You would think that Jackson would be the ones to boss this match. That's not the cleanest of headers. By Fode Bangura, but Cutler was there. Long ball for no one in particular, easily gathered by Krongold. Ponce de Leon, long. Nigro was the target, and a foul here called against Daniel McGonigal. A little bit of a foul as they pass by. Here's Jules Anderson. Watson moves away from Donzo. Quist. Back to Abbey. He'll back it out. Jackson are overloaded on this left side here with Krongold, and that's where they were trying to go for. Pass a little bit too long. Both sides so far looking at those long balls. Played short. Krongold, last one to touch that. And shoulder to shoulder, says the referee there. Nigro taking it off of Adam Goma. But then an offside whistle. Breslin dispossessed into touch. Goma didn't have any support. Ponce de Leon gonna whack that one very long. Ponce de Leon right now seems to be opting for the long clearances. Goma trying to turn on Watson, and the flag going up on Goma after Breslin was able to regain possession. Jackson will start short. Quist. Quist was trying to slip that to Anderson. He had a man right there. Regained though. Kunihiro gets it away from Abbey. Here's Krongold. That's long again. Flag would have been up anyway. Bangura. McGonigal. Here's McDade. Brian McDade gets that into the channel, and that is going to be a goal. Alex Frazier, who was put into the starting lineup late for the Predators in the 12th minute. Ponce de Leon coming out again.
Goal scored by Westchester Predators.
It was Donzo who he was trying to go after. Donzo got to the ball before him and flicked it on, and Jackson, the defense maybe going a little bit too slowly there, thinking that there was going to be an offside call, and Frazier followed it in and tapped it home. It is 1-0 now, and Jackson do not want to see another loss against a team that they ought to be beating. Here's Ian Abbey. They are behind again against WC Predators. At this point in the first game, it was already 1-1. But this is not the situation that Jackson thought they'd be in here at home. Their last home game of the season. Diaz. Good ball there to Kraus. He ran into a wall though. Golden. Outside. Abbey takes it down. And that is going to be a throw-in. Looked like Abbey got mugged a little bit there. Inside, and that was a good play by McDade to keep the ball away from Joel Quist. Krongold with Breslin and McDade. Here's McGonigal. Outside now. Donzo. They're going to back it up. Predators now with a lead to protect. And that's mishandled, but Anderson couldn't quite get to it. Quist fighting with Bangura. Couldn't come out with it. Here's Harrington. Anderson leaves it for Miguel Diaz. Taken away. Krongold pressing hard. Predators creeping up to get the ball back. Here's Breslin now. Goma slips it back down the right. Breslin waiting for some targets to come in. Here's Goma, gonna load up, that's blocked. Here come Jackson. Quist trying to go one-on-one with Harrington. Looking for Abby. Abby, goal! And just like last time, Jackson strikes back right away. 4 minutes between the breakthrough and the equalizer. What a play! Joel Quist with a great run down the right side. And he put in a perfect ball for Ian Abbey. That's Abbey's 3rd goal of the season. Brings him even with Quist as Jackson's leading scorer. And we are back where we started just 15 minutes later. It's a light pass there by Kunihiro. Cutler has to fire that one away. Cutler really had no chance once it was clear that Abbey had the angle to that ball. Goma intercepts there. It's a high turnover. Harrington over the head of Donzo. We've had some action already. Here in Toms River. Goma trying to put that inside to Frazier. Golden charges through the tackle, but it was a little too high.
Ladies and gentlemen, that Lions goal was brought to you by the
Jules
pride
Anderson.
of Providence, number 7, Ian Abbey. Sorry for the delay, I have COVID.
Nigro, good tackle. Here's Quist again. He's drifted out to that right side a little more. Abbey making the same run. Miguel Diaz, too, was in that area. And that's going to be something that De Leon way out of his box. And a foul called against Donzo. Trying to slide in from the side. Might have gotten a little bit of the ball, but even more of his man. Nigro trying to find Kraus on the far side. Kraus, Diaz, Diaz! Put that into the middle, but both Quist and Abbey stopped their runs. Expecting him to cut it back a little more. Anderson. Anderson pushes through. Anderson into the box. Anderson trying to dribble his man. Anderson again, and I think that throw-in was taken far closer to the goal than the referee intended it to go. Golden. Nigro. That pass passed him a little bit. And Cutler mishits that for Harrington. Everybody's kind of all over the place right now. Trying to regain an equilibrium after those two quick goals. A foul there called against Quist. Now back in. It's going to be Jackson's throw. They're going to bring it back to Ponce de Leon. It's been that right side where the dangerous attacks have come for Jackson. Long from Anderson. Diaz chasing. Little too long. These are two teams that like to trade goals. It's now 11 combined between the two of them in the 2.25 games that they've played against each other. Here's Abbey now latching on to the loose pass. Abbey in the middle. Had Diaz once and now twice. Gets it to him the second time. Diaz looking to dribble Harrington. That is a great flick by Abbey, but it didn't get to Quist. That was Alex Fetter. And that is going to be a foul as Donzo is sandwiched by a pair. Zach Golden being summoned for a few more instructions from the referee. Fetter, no, sorry, that's not Fetter, that is McGonigal to put it back into play. McGonigal. Low down the field, but he's got Goma. Here's Breslin now. Breslin stopped up by Krongold and cleaned up by Nigro and Golden. Ponce de Leon. Very long. All the way back to Cutler. And he just puts it out. Kraus. Golden. Krongold. Diaz now. Golden again. Jackson probing. Abbey. He has been the danger man. He goes again off the post. What a shot! That was 25 yards easy. Fantastic long-range effort. Coming up on 24 minutes in this game between Jackson Lions and Westchester Predators. Cutler puts one high to the sideline. Kunihiro collects. McGonigal. Tackle there by Golden. Fair. Golden. Now Quist. Doesn't have anywhere to turn. Abbey now. Abbey lofts it. And it's just past Anderson. Anderson had gotten that on target. Predators right now with some questions to answer. Defensively, because right now, if you were going to put anything on it, you would think that it would be Lions right now that would be the ones ready to score a goal. Fetter. Kunihiro. Inside to Breslin. McDade. Looking for McGonigal up at the top of the midfield. He tries to scoop it. Golden right in his way. That's some nifty work there by Goma. But rejected by Diaz. Might have had a run with Nigro here. Might still if Krongold can release the pass. He does. Here's David Nigro, the captain, right at Cutler. You saw that road opening up for David Nigro. But he just couldn't get it to either side of the keeper. Diaz hoofs it clear. Breslin with some pressure on Ponce de Leon, who bails it deep. And it's won by Quist. All alone here, though, and good play by Bangura. Still, though, it's Lions that come with it. Krongold looking for Quist. Another post. Abbey, rebound, and a goal. Fantastic initial ball by Krongold. Quist managing to put it off the post there.
Ladies and gentlemen, that goal
But it
was
trickled
brought
right
to you by
back
once
to
again,
Abbey.
the pride of Providence, number 7, Ian Abbey.
That's 2 for Abbey today. Well, we said it looked like Jackson was on the precipice of their second, and indeed they were. That's 4 now for Abbey. He moves past Quist for the team lead this season. That pass is short, but Jules Anderson wasn't expecting Nigro to claim it. Fetter. Bangura. It has been the wide areas that have produced the goals. Breslin. Goma Breslin. Breslin ran into Ryan Watson there. Watson with some good positioning. Adam Goma looked like he was waiting for a return ball on that play. Golden's going to try to get by Goma and eventually puts him on his rear. Abbey on a hat trick now. Goals in the 16th and the 27th minute. To put Jackson Lions up 2-1. Ponce de Leon. Watson. Nigro. Nigro again. Quist. Couldn't control. Goma. Twists around and turns for one, but he gave that up. Here's Abbey. Krongold. Krongold backing it up. Golden. He's going to load up. And that wasn't far away. On the half-hour mark. Looking for more action this week. We've got a big one for you tomorrow at 12 noon. The APSL National Final. Might be able to tell you a little bit about who will be in that final as this game progresses. One of the semifinals is in progress now. That is also on Game and Frame and the Game and Frame YouTube channel. If you'd like to go picture in picture. Miguel Diaz. Kraus going to back it up. Ponce de Leon really doing the Neuer thing out there in goal. Did bite him though. When Predators open the scoring. That is downfield. Their target's inside. Abbey again! He's offside. Would have been a half-hour hat trick for Ian Abbey. Nobody in a white shirt can contain him right now. He is finding all the right spots. And I believe the referee has halted play for a cooling break. Today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to ensure odor-free car rides and houses. Salt has given the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount. So scan the QR code to save 10% and keep it fresh. Cooling break. Here it is. Finally a summer day. It's 84 degrees here in Toms River at kickoff. 61% humidity, which fortunately right now is not adding to the feeling. The heat index matching our air temperature, which is good for these players because if it were any worse, this would be one of those games where hydration, making sure that you didn't overexert yourself, would be a major key. Jackson Lions lead 2-1. Goals in the 16th and 27th minutes by Ian Abbey, responding to the early goal in the 11th minute by Alex Frazier. Players now regaining their places. There is also a nice breeze coming, blowing from right to left on your screen. That's also had a mitigating effect on the heat. And that looked like handball by Harrington. Eventually it's going to go to Ponce de Leon. No harm, no foul, I guess, but that was very much a handball call that the referee chose to overlook. This one long by Golden. Diaz, first touch! And Abbey at the near post, knocking it wide. And that was Adam Goma giving the ball away in a bad area here, and Jackson looking to take advantage. Golden shifting. Box starting to fill up with red shirts. Anderson across. Bangura digging out the low cross. Quist, Goma, all the way back trying to get into that. Here's Donzo rather. Watson, all the way back to Ponce de Leon. They'll reset it entirely. Diaz. Sends that across the field looking for Krongold, but headed away by Kunihiro. McGonigal. Didn't realize Anderson was right there. Anderson now with the ball. He puts that through. Here's Diaz. Quist thought he had a man behind him. But now Anderson, and Cutler makes his second save of the match. Donzo. Working, good tackle there by Kraus. Needed to get that one right, or else it might have been a little more than a free kick. No cautions so far. Here is Breslin trying to get fancy there to Kunihiro, but misdirected it. Golden. Anderson. Nigro. That was a nice dummy there. Sucked Donzo in and let the ball go all the way to Zephin Kraus. But Harrington beats Diaz to that through ball. Goma. He's beaten out by Diaz. Referee might have been ready to put the whistle in his mouth. That tackle by Goma, nothing eventually. Didn't even signal for advantage. Now here is Krongold. That cross is deflected, and Breslin will watch it bounce out. Nigro wants to go long. Anderson into the middle, but he didn't have anyone. That clearance, though, right back to Abbey, who is the exact last person you want to see with the ball right now. And Cutler tips it by the post. was going to say the exact last person you wanted to see with the ball right now if you were Westchester Predators. Near post. This is going to be Diaz. He mishit it. Had that teed up for him. Kraus, Anderson, Diaz. Big target still up. Now Watson starting to retreat. Anderson fouled just above the penalty arc. And this will be a very interesting situation with about 7 minutes to go before halftime. It's going to be Abbey. Who else? 5 men in the wall. And Breslin's underneath. Goes for it. Saved by Cutler and held. Went low to the far post. And he is, Cutler trying to find Donzo with that. Hit it far too long. Abbey collects, puts that in for Anderson into the middle, but picked out by Cutler. Again, it was Ian Abbey who was coming up on it. He had Quist on the other side too. Donzo, Predators have not had the ball in this part of the field very often, and they're not going to have it here because Alex Frazier, the goal scorer for them, was offside. Nigro. Krongold. A lot of responsibility for that second goal, Krongold. That beautiful pass in for Quist that he couldn't turn in, but Abbey turned in on the rebound. Diaz looking for who else? Abbey, it falls to him. He's trying to chip it over. This guy has been everywhere. Got both Jackson goals and come very close to 2 or 3 more. Bangura. McGonigal. Back to Cutler. Harrington. That is a great, ooh! That looked like a very clean tackle from Anderson, but referee saying he went in from behind as opposed to the shoulder. Long ball to Kunihiro. That's a good switch there to Harrison. Harrington, rather. McDade. Frazier. That's the first touch I can remember for Predators in the Jackson box in quite some time. Donzo. Referee playing advantage. Shot is wide of the far post. That's their first shot, I believe, since they scored half an hour ago. Golden. And a foul there. Donzo getting what perhaps is a final warning. He's already been spoken to once about some excessive pushing and shoving. There aren't a whole ton of goals in this side. In the side that is available right now. In terms of the players that have actually scored this term. That goes long. Kunihiro able to get that away from Abby, who he might have gotten stepped on there. They do not want to see that on the Jackson bench. And they are going to ask for the trainers to come out and check them. He's got the back of his leg there. That's where he's holding it. He is trying to get up, and he is up, which is good because that's where he was grabbing his leg is the kind of place you wonder if something serious could have happened. Two minutes plus stoppage time until the half is over. Jackson will certainly wait to see if their star man today can get back on the field before the half. Kunihiro, he's the one going after this. Krongold handled it. And this is going to be a dangerous free kick for Predators just as the half begins. And Ian Abbey's already sitting on the bench. And it looks like they've got a replacement stripping off as well. That's a real shame. Abbey was having such a good game. Header, good save and hold. It was Bangura, who has scored once this year. And yeah, the referee, there is going to be a change here. It's going to be Joey Kurak to come in for Ian Abbey. Man, that is a blow. No one was able to contain Ian Abbey in that first 43 minutes. We are into stoppage time. That injury might add a minute or two onto what we're about to watch. Krause stepping back out of it. Upfield. Harrington chesting it out of play. Harrington getting that to Donzo. McGonigal out wide. Donzo. McGonigal trying to switch it. Kunihiro. Header for Breslin. He has looked lively when he's had the ball in those areas. He just hasn't had it much. Kunihiro. Kunihiro. Good positioning there by Krongold, but Krongold did touch it. And here, now into the 4th minute of stoppage time. I think this might be the last kick of the half. In from McDade. And is headed up and claimed by Ponce de Leon, and that is the last action of the first half. It was a lively one. 2 goals by Ian Abbey. The difference right now,
Ladies and gentlemen,
it
that's
is
much the
Jackson
end of the
2
first half here at the Donovan
and
Our score was
Predators
Portland
1
You're
halfway home here
2.
at Donovan Catholic High
For
School.
the sake of recognition from Rowan University, number 14, Joey Kurak is our replacement. For number 7, Ian Downtown Abbey.
We will be right back with the second half of this match. And first, our plays of the week.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division I programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back to Donovan Catholic High School in Toms River. Teams coming back onto the field. Does look like WC Predators are making a change. It is in goal. Diego Terran is going to be coming in to replace Sebastian Cutler. This looks planned, as if both goalkeepers were set to give each other one half each. Cutler went out at halftime and immediately started warming Terran up. Of course, the change right before the first half, once again, Joey Kurak coming in for Joel Quist, who scored both of Jackson's goals today, but injured his ankle area after tangling with Kieran Kunihiro. Looks probably like a sprain of some kind. Always when you see a guy grabbing the back of his foot like that, you start worrying about an Achilles tendon, but he was able to walk off, which he just simply wouldn't have been able to do. He is walking on the Jackson bench with a ice bag around his foot. And off we go. For the second half, an entertaining first, but one that was rather controlled by Jackson Lions after that initial goal that came off the mistake by Ponce de Leon. Running upfield is Zephin Kraus, and a good ball to find him. Kraus around Harrington. Now he's got Kurak, his first touches of the game. Quist, Anderson, what a shot! First minute of the half, Jules Anderson with a blast from the top of the box.
Ladies and gentlemen, that Lions goal was
Laid back by Quist, that's his second assist of the game. Third goal of the year for Anderson. That was a sweet strike. And Diego Terran had no chance. Had an open shooting lane, and in the first minute of this half, Jackson extends their lead to 3-1. Well, any questions as to whether or not the lack of Ian Abbey would hurt the attack? Gone. Jonah Diaz. That's out for a throw for Jackson. Quist. Oh, that's a switch and a half. Miguel Diaz. Overlapping run into the center, and a great play by Alex Fedor to keep it from going through. Another excellent run. That's going to be, that is not a foul against David Nigro. I looked a little shovey to me, but referee says play on. Deep downfield. Kurak Quist on a hat trick of assists today. Quist. Korak! Shot blocked. And now a 2-goal lead, which is something that neither team ever had in that first game. That's a foul. Adam Goma, the victim. That May game where Predators won 5-4. No team ever had more than a 1-goal advantage. And Predators, who have only scored 11 goals so far this year, with a mountain to climb. Watson, good ball, long, but Fedor again made a couple of good defensive plays in these first few minutes of the second half. Good job by Jonah Diaz. Kraus sending Korak through, Foloruncho. It's Fode Bangura. Great tackle by Fode Bangura. Why I just referred to him as the Italian international. Michael Foloruncho, I don't know. Quist was lurking there on the near side. Ball was repelled. Predators, it feels like there's going to have to be some changes in the outfield players if something is going to shift here. Looks like these 10 guys have done all that they really can do in terms of working on Jackson's back line. The 1 goal was a mistake. Ponce de Leon did also have 1 big save to make right at the end of the first half when Bangura hit a header off a corner. Diaz tries something tricky. Doesn't work, but it's going to stay going the Lions' way. Backing up. Night is becoming quite pleasant as the sun goes down. The wind kind of kicking up. Diaz to the byline. Diaz across everybody. Westchester let that ball run through. No one wanted to get the touch that might send it into their own net. Nigro stays with it. 2 challenges now, but Quist able to trying to send Nigro in there, and Bangura again. And that's going to be off of Kraus. Donzo lost that to Anderson, and it's going to be going back the other way. Donzo has not really looked effective up there today. Came in having not scored a goal all year. Mentioned that the goal scoring rather limited on this team in terms of who has scored goals this year. Ryan Noel is their leading goal scorer. He is not on the field today. He is not available. He scored twice in the return match. 2 of the 5 he's scored. Korak fighting with Harrington. Donzo picks his way around Kraus rather. And here is Frazier, the goal scorer. Goma. When he's had the ball in these areas, he's been tricky, but Jonah Diaz is not going to let him get to that ball. This game has taken on a bit. It's had a little bit of the air removed from it, it seems, after that third goal. 3 unanswered from Jackson, and that was way over the top by Bangura, and he and Quist are face to face. No one has been cautioned in this match yet. Quist has a case here to be made that Bangura went way up his back and may have put a knee out. Certainly foul play. Referee had let it go. David Nigro now trying to plead a case to the referee. A couple of changes warming up for Westchester on the turf behind the goal on the left-hand side. We're going to start this up again with a drop ball. After that contentious moment between Bangura and Quist. Considering where they play, they're going to be seeing some of each other. See if that continues to simmer. Fedor, Donzo. That's the kind of thing that's been happening with Donzo today. He hasn't been able to hold balls like that. Golden, a little too much for Kurak, but he recovers. He's got Quist! And the cross just in front of him. Ten minutes into this second half. Down 2, Predators are going to want to get themselves on the board again. If they want to get a result from this, they're going to want to do it quickly. Under Jackson, the only team that Westchester Predators have beaten this year. But so far, they have really looked in complete control ever since that opening goal by Alex Frazier. Tehran. Donzo. Yep. Another rough touch. Anderson. Trying to just flash that one up high. Turn by McDade. Goma. Donzo. And again, Donzo losing the ball. Jackson just swarming him, and now here's Quist. Looked for a second like Quist might have the ball with Bangura on him. Bangura looks to me like he's still chattering in his ear down there. And that is a foul by Donzo, and that is going to be a yellow card. That's probably for persistent fouling, if nothing else. He'd had a couple of talking to.
Westchester.
Anderson on the looking to try the quick free kick, but the referee was not ready. Be golden to trigger this back in. Big loopy ball, tipped away by Tehran, only as far as Diaz. Krongold. Here's Nigro. Nigro blocked. Kunihiro. The substitutes for Predators have returned to the bench area. I would assume we'll be seeing them relatively soon. McDade. Up an empty sideline. Throw in for Jackson. Ponce de Leon. Header won by Harrington, but it goes right back to Nigro. Here's Kurak. Kurak on Bangura, looking for the near post. Bangura gets a piece of it. Fedor. Bangura with Quist chasing him. Let's see. Tehran. There are two players standing with the fourth official. Unfortunately, we don't have a light board. And that is a good play by Zach Golden to take that off of Goma. But Anderson with a misplaced pass. Fedor. McGonigal. McDade. Almost lost that there, McGonigal. McDade, back from Goma. Looking up the right side, that was too far. And the change will come now. We will see who it is. Number 15, Juan Rivera, and number 24, Oliver Garcia coming on.
Stepping on for Westchester, number 15, Juan Rivera.
Alex Frazier coming off, and so is Donzo.
Also stepping on number 24, Oliver Garcia.
Not the most effective of games for Donzo. We cross the hour mark now. Only two other changes for Predators available on the bench. We'll see when they decide to go with them. And the referee acknowledging his assistant out there on the far side who said that that ball went out. I wish you all could see behind us because there is a beautiful sunset. The lights have started to take hold here at Donovan Catholic High School. Headed back to Tehran. Upfield, header, McDade. Now Nigro. Cutting inside is Krongold. Krongold. That is going to be a foul. Bangura bringing down Quaid. Nothing extracurricular. Nigro trying to do it quickly. Here's Korak, who just about got the shot off. Blocked at the last second after stealing that out from under the defender. Into the middle. Harrington. All the way across. This is Fedor. He's way up now. That's a nifty little nutmeg by Alex Fedor, who seems to have moved up as part of those changes. And is Juan Rivera as playing as a center back alongside Bangura now. Golden. Krongold. Diaz. No changes here in the second half yet for Jackson. Already made the one in the first half. The injury substitution. Here inside, that's Breslin rather. Here is Fedor again, headed away, and that is just flicked away. Breslin at the byline, he didn't keep it in. Time rapidly becoming the enemy of Westchester Predators. If they want to get something, they got to get it now. Fedor, by the way, has moved out to left back in that shuffle after the substitution. Gives Quist a little nudge there, but he can't win the ball cleanly. Upfield. Here's a header. Here's Goma. And that is taken away by Nigro. Nigro. That one got through Bangura, but not Fedor. Here's Rivera now. Switched out to Fedor. Kraus. Diaz. Back to Ponce de Leon. Krongold. Outrunning Goma, who's really been an all-purpose defensive helper on any side of the ball today. More than he has been the facilitator that he wants. Quist is offside. Nudged back in by Tehran. McGonigal there with that was Garcia there with a bit of a loose pass. Harrington tried to get up. Couldn't do it. Here's Bangura and Quist again for a moment, but then he backs up. Ball goes down the tunnel. Jackson Lions with the 2-goal lead here. That's a good switch by Nigro. Krongold. Diaz. Miguel Diaz. Golden. Long looking. Quist was out on the right. Oh, that's Kraus down. He's playing advantage. At least I think he's playing advantage. That referee didn't really signal, but play does go on nonetheless. Jackson never lost the ball, but eventually they're going to have to reset the attack. Over the top, Nigro, side netting. Another goal really puts this one away for Jackson. Predators could generate a grandstand finish if they can just produce some offense, which they have not been able to do all half and really through most of this game. Even their goal coming on a misplay by Rafael Ponce de Leon. Harrington and Kurak, or sorry, not Harrington, that's Fedor. Harrington has moved up. Here is Harrington. He scored the winning goal in the last game between these two teams. Was looking for an assist there, but it was touched away by Ryan Watson. It will be a corner, first of the half. They take it short. Harrington, no power. Substitutes warming up on both ends of the field. Diaz. Krongold. Miguel Diaz. Quist looking to put that down the line to Krongold. Krongold waiting for targets. Krongold backs it out into the center. He's going to have to back this up. Just didn't materialize in time for Krongold to really be able to put the ball into the box. And Kurak was onside. Quist, and it does feel like Jackson are getting ready to score the put-away punch. Now Harrington. McGonigal. Here's Goma. Fedor. Scooped up. Now Harrington puts it in. Then a shot scooped just over the bar. One change here. Justin Lucien Keys. Will step on and off, I believe, comes Zephan Strauss. He's played a very good game today and is getting
stepping on for the Lions from Cedar
round of
Stars
applause.
MLS Next, number 29, Justin Lucien.
Justin Lucien heading over to the left side, so it looks like Krongold is going to switch. Harrington trying to apply some pressure. Can only direct it out of bounds. Going long. Here's Kurak. Kurak has an angle. Shot is saved by Tehran. It'll be a corner. Krongold will take this corner. Towards the back post. Header is over. That was Nigro. Predators starting it quickly. Long switch. That's sniffed out by Krongold, but he can't keep it in play. That's a good, looked like a good play against Oliver Garcia. Last two subs, Jake Wirtz and Nicholas Polidoro are coming on here. Meanwhile is Quist. What a play by Quist and a save. Joel Quist putting what he hoped was an exclamation point on a great night. So Fedor is coming off.
On for Westchester, number 13, Nicholas Polidoro. And number 18, Jack Wirtz.
And Goma is the other one to come off. He has worked hard today. Just hasn't managed to get much of an end product in. Just under 15 minutes left. McGonigal backs that one up. And they're just going to let that go over the line. If you're looking for some more action this week, tomorrow, one of the biggest games of the year for Game and Frame, the APSL National Final. That's long for Quist, and Bangura gets it out. No hurry for good ball here, collected by Tehran. Just to give you an update on how things are going in those APSL semis. Good play by Kurak there. New York Penn Cyprian Freedoms leading Nova FC 1-0 with 15 minutes left to go in that game. And a foul there. this. WC Predators' sister club, one of their sister clubs in the APSL. They were rather indecent against KO Elites FC. It was a 10-1 final score. So WC Predators will be facing, here's a shot, but didn't get good purchase on it, so WC Predators APSL side will be playing tomorrow in those finals. Right now it looks like against the Pancyprians. That other game is tight, and it is running maybe 2 minutes or so behind ours. Long shot, or shot pass. This game has started to lull you into a bit of a mental void. Golden, Watson. Some changes imminent for Jackson Lions. Anderson trying to run with that. Ooh, that would have been a good switch, but it was way too far for Garcia, and now the change is going to come. Turkan Kurak I believe Surak is how that's going to be pronounced. Number 20. Ty Mazer, number 8.
From Howell High School, number
Joel
8.
Quist.
Tyler Mazer.
Stumming off.
From Drew University,
and so
number
is
20,
Anderson.
Turshan Kurak.
Kurak and Kurak out there at the same time. A broadcaster's daydream to have that one. That's good play there by Golden. Kurak does bring it back, and Jonah Diaz backs it up. 9 minutes plus stoppage time. There have not been a lot of stoppages in this second half, besides the goal and those few minutes that the potential fracas between Fode Bangura and Joel Quist was calmed down. Watson immediately snuffing that one out, and Polidoro doing the same, and then Diaz steals it. Polidoro pulling on him, and now a penalty. That was some rough defending by Polidoro. He kept going with it. Juan Rivera, I think, got the last touch on the man, and I think it will be Miguel Diaz stepping up to take it himself. This will end it. In. Easy. First goal of the year for Miguel Diaz. In the 83rd minute. And this has turned into a very workmanlike victory for Jackson Lions. Behind the start.
Ladies and gentlemen,
they have been.
Goal was brought to you by number 11, Miguel Diaz.
That was Predators, I think, trying to catch Ponce de Leon out of his goal as they kicked off. That was speculative to say the least. But there is not much left to do. Then see out these last 7 minutes or so. Ponce de Leon whacking it long. Two games left on the schedule for Jackson. Next week, an away game against New Jersey United, which could either make the race at the top of the division very interesting for Jackson, or make their final game against Philadelphia Union Development Squad just a run out. That's Mazer. Correct. Two more Lions ready to come on at the next stoppage. Kunihiro. Bangura. Bangura just gets that away. And they're still going after it. Rivera finally gets that out of the little pickle that Westchester were in, and that pass is just behind his man, but the fullback is overlapping. It's going to be a throw in a quite advanced spot. And the changes Anthony Ruggiero and Noor Eraki coming into the match.
Stepping on for the Lions from Drew University, number 21, Anthony Ruggiero.
Diaz coming off.
From the Metric Academy, ECNL, number 12, Noor
and
Eraki.
Krongold also coming off. That is the bench for both sides now. That ball getting across, and immediately Mazer having to poke it out. 4 minutes left in this matchup. Jackson getting some revenge for that early defeat. Short corner. Now towards the back post. Headed nowhere that anyone will be able to help with it. 2 goals either side of halftime. First 2 coming from Ian Abbey. Jules Anderson and Miguel Diaz. And here is Harrington wide. Sorry, check that. That was not Harrington, that was Breslin. Today's Game in Frame broadcast is brought to you by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to ensure odor-free car rides and houses. Salt has offered the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount, so scan the QR code to get 10% off and keep it fresh. Final moments. We'll see just how much in terms of stoppage time we're going to see. Kunihiro. Bangura. But Rivera loses it to Mazer. Will we get a fifth? No. A couple of good saves by Tehran in this second half of work for him. Golden floats it. Picked out by the keeper. 90 seconds of normal time. That is some contact there between Breslin and Watson. Long ball, Mazer. Mazer didn't hit it cleanly as he tried to turn. Harrington. Harrington. Now here is McGonigal. Turn back toward the box, and Ponce de Leon will just sit on this. Watson buying him a few more seconds before Garcia gets close enough to make him pick it up. Let's see how much time. Mazer hits Ian Bangura with some really heavy contact there, and the referee immediately calling for the trainers. Man, that was some contact. As we enter stoppage time, Bangura back up pretty quickly though. And he will have to come off because the medical staff came on. Predators will be with 10 for a few seconds at least. And we're going to have a drop ball. Golden. Backed up. Back down to Ponce de Leon. That's a mistake though. Can they get a consolation? McDade trying to poke it through, and finally the Lions get it out. Maybe they'll run one more. This one is going to stop with the flag. And that is going to do it. A workmanlike victory, some revenge for that early season defeat. Jackson Lions take this game 4-1.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Off the back of goals by Ian Abbey, who had 2, Jules Anderson,
a final home game of the season,
and Miguel
The
Diaz.
final score,
All of those coming
Westchester
after
one,
Alex Frazier had opened the scoring in the
Jackson
11th minute for the Predators.
And once again, a special thanks to our generous sponsors, whom without tonight's game, season,
This one was never really in doubt.
would it be possible? Cornerstone Wealth Partners, boutique wealth.
We will be back with
Cornerstone Wealth Partners at 609
some
301
of our met with some
61
with a conversation with our man of the
Fencing,
match.
New Jersey's premier fencing.
Right after this, the final score one more time. Jackson Lions 4, WC Predators 1.
Garden State. If you're looking to replace an old Rickey fence.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back to Donovan Catholic High School. I'm here with Joel Quist, one of our men of the match today. Joel, you were providing from the very beginning. That first pass to Ian for the first goal and also the layoff you had there for Jules. What was your mindset today going in terms of trying to dissect this defense and have the game that you had?
Yeah. Obviously today, since the past 2 games, we hadn't scored for the past 2 games. So the mindset today was just to get as many goals as possible, break that scoreless streak. So however it was, I didn't score today, but I'm just happy and supportive of everyone who did score today. And I was just there doing my job, checking in, laying it off. And it's all thanks to the team. Everyone had to put a great effort in. So that was the mindset, just goals, goals, goals.
When Ian was absolutely incredible in the first half, and then he had to come off with that injury. How do you have to kind of mentally hit the reset button when you have a guy that's playing like that, and then you lose him right before halftime?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Yeah, he was feeling a little bit of a knock during warm-ups, but he played through. And no, it was the same thing. Joey came in, and it was the same movement. I checked it. He made it running behind, and he had a couple of chances when he got in. So it really wasn't any disruption in our play. We played the same thing with Ian, without Ian. So, yeah.
When you played these guys in May, it was a bounce up and down, up and down. No one was up more than one. Everybody was changing the leads. How did you go about making that a lot calmer after those first couple of goals were scored?
Yeah. Well, it's just trusting in each other, trusting each other's abilities, making the passes that we're supposed to make, and just being smart on the ball, just being intelligent and showing how superior and experienced we are as a team versus them. So,
big match next week against New Jersey United. You can make the standings interesting if you win that game. What are your first thoughts on approaching them next week?
Our first thought is just get the win. However we can, with the players we can, with whoever we can, is just get the win. That's our thought getting into that game.
All right. Thanks very much, Joel. Congratulations on a great performance and a great win. Thank you for watching us at home. I'm Sam Lopresti for Game and Frame. Our final score one more time. Jackson Lions 4, WC Predators 1. Thank you once again, and we'll see you for our next matchup.